A new multi-million-dollar grocery store is in the works for Ignacio. A local coffee company worms its way into the compost business, and a family ag business in Bayfield survives and thrives by changing with the times. I'm Jim Mackay, and you're watching Open for Business.
You're watching Open for Business with Jim Mackay, a business news show that brings you information about commerce and industry in the four corners. Open for Business is brought to you by First Southwest Bank. We can help you get there. First Southwest Bank.
Also brought to you by the La Plata County Economic Development Alliance. Pioneer spirit, business smart.
When it comes to economic development, vacant land doesn't generate a lot of income, or does it? The State Commission recently declined an application from the La Plata Open Space Conservancy to become an Economic Enterprise Zone Contribution project. If it had obtained the designation, donors to the Conservancy would have received a 25% state tax credit for their contributions to the local nonprofit. Enterprise zones offer tax credits for donations to selected nonprofits when those nonprofits help create jobs and contribute to economic development in their communities. The Region 9 Economic Development District Board in Southwest Colorado approved the Conservancy's application to become an Enterprise Zone Contribution project, but the State Review Board, the Colorado Economic Development Commission, declined the application. Open for Business decided to ask whether open space easements can contribute to the economic health of the community, and we found that the values they offer could be the very foundation for the Colorado economy. Amy Schwartzbach, the new executive director for the La Plata Open Space Conservancy, says open space easements help preserve the region's scenic beauty that draws visitors to the area and attracts new residents and business owners.
Really is open space that we protect is visible from every one of our road corridors, and that is what brings in our tourists to drive our scenic roads, to pass through on their way to Mesa Verde, to pass through on their way to skiing in the winter, mountain biking in Moab in the summer. If their destination isn't to stay here, they're passing through, and they're here because it's beautiful and it's open. And it's not all federal lands that keeps our community so beautiful.
The La Plata Open Space Conservancy was established more than 20 years ago to preserve land for scenic values, recreational uses, wildlife habitat, historical and archaeological values, as well as farming and ranching. When landowners place a conservation easement on their properties, they surrender their rights to develop the land now and forever in the future. In exchange, they receive significant tax breaks, and in most cases, their property taxes stay much lower. Schwartzbach said conservation easements have helped several family farms stay in business by lowering their taxes, including the James Ranch in the North Animas Valley, the El Dorado Ranch along the Florida River, and Sunnyside Farms in the Lower Animas Valley. All three generate local food that's sold to local markets and restaurants. In turn, those markets and restaurants hire employees to serve customers who demand locally grown food, she said. Conservation easements that preserve recreational and scenic values contribute to Durango's economy significantly, Schwartzbach said. Within just a few minutes' ride of downtown Durango, mountain bikers can access trails on conservation lands in Horse Gulch, Overland Mountain Park, and Dalla Mountain Park. According to local cycling industry experts, Durango sees an estimated 75,000 user days of bicycling from out-of-town visitors. A third of those riders access trails on conservation easements. Those riders alone generate more than $7.5 million in the local economy. Schwartzbach also points to the San Juan Skyway. The 236-mile loop includes 41 conservation easements that incorporate more than 16,000 acres, most of which you can see from the road. And thousands of drivers enjoy that open scenery every day. According to the Colorado Department of Transportation, average traffic count from Durango to Trimble is about 9,000 vehicles a day. To Silverton, it's more than 2,000 trips a day, or more than 750,000 car trips a year. On the last week of June, the recent Can-Am Spider Rally in Durango drew 800 riders who spent 2 days on guided tours over the Skyway. The Four Corners Motorcycle Rally generates more than $2.3 million every year, and the Iron Horse Bicycle Classic brings in more than $2 million a year in economic development. According to a 2013 report by Runyon and Associates for the Colorado Tourism Board, overnight travel spending in counties along the San Juan Skyway totaled more than $567 million in 2012 and accounted for more than 6,500 jobs. In La Plata County alone, overnight travel spending contributed $251 million to the economy and accounted for nearly 3,000 jobs. I guess you can eat the scenery around here. Although the Open Space Conservancy Board hasn't made a decision to reapply for the Enterprise Zone designation, Schwartzbach says the organization is busy with several pending conservation easements. In the meantime, she said, the group will continue to look for opportunities to protect one of Southwest Colorado's most valuable assets, stretches of open space. The Conservancy currently protects 25,000 acres of land in 7 counties. For more information about the La Plata Open Space Conservancy, log on to lposc.org. Ignacio residents are without a grocery store after the Sure Value closed 3 weeks ago, and a new replacement store won't be ready until the end of the year, according to future store manager Ezra Lee. Fenn Foods Incorporated, which operated Sure Value from its Roswell headquarters, said managing the store from more than 300 miles away proved too much of a challenge. Ezra Lee and his wife Brooke Lee will team up with the McClanahan family to demolish the 50-year-old building and replace it with a new multi-million-dollar store. The McClanahan family owns the current building and formerly operated the grocery store before Fenn Foods took over. The new store also will include a pharmacy. Ignacio residents currently drive to Bayfield or Durango for their prescription medications or arrange to buy them by mail. The location also will offer a liquor store, and the Lees plan to sell locally grown beef. Ignacio residents still can shop at the Roots Natural Food Store, but until the new general grocery store opens at the end of the year, Ignacio residents face a 20-mile round trip to Bayfield. To help residents who don't have transportation, the Southern Ute Community Action Program will offer round-trip shuttles to Bayfield for $3. In addition, the Ignacio Senior Center will offer an extra trip each week with its assisted shopping service for those who need help getting their groceries. Plans for the new store currently are in the design review stage in the town of Ignacio's planning process. As of now, a name for Ignacio's next edition has yet to be determined. Next, find out how the Durango Coffee Company wormed its way into the compost business.
Everyone's on a budget, and we have several programs that are available that will meet those needs so that it does fit within your budget.
We're family here. They like the way they're treated. They like the way we present the numbers. There is nothing under question. They know exactly what they're getting. The quality of the Honda is number one. You want to get into a car that you know you can depend on for years and years, and it's not going to break down. It's going to be what it's presented to be.
This is the story of a company that has its roots in Southwest Colorado. A story about 2 college friends who founded a local business, of their families and the families of their staff, and of generations to come. It's about the concerns we hold, the passions we share, and the bonds that unite us. We are the Wells Group, and for 3 decades, we've been proud to be a part of the Southwest Colorado community.
It's full steam ahead at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. Enjoy a historic trip through Southwest Colorado's rich scenery with daily train excursions through the spectacular San Juan Mountains. See the world-famous 400-foot drop at the High Line. Relax as you chug along the Upper Animas River and spend an afternoon in the historic mining town of Silverton. Stop by the depot or call 247-2733. Get more information on our website at durangotrain.com.
You're watching Open for Business. I'm Jim Mackay. When you own a coffee shop, what do you do with all the spent grounds that you generate? If you're Tim Wheeler, you become a worm farmer. 6 years ago, Wheeler, who owns Durango Coffee Company, wanted a way to recycle the nearly 10,000 pounds of spent coffee grounds that his store generates every year. He joined forces with Jennifer Craig, a local worm expert, who used the wigglers to create soil amendments. The two started the Durango Compost Company.
It wasn't an intent to become a worm farmer, although I am enjoying that. But essentially, I have another business called the Durango Coffee Company downtown in Maine. And when I bought that 10 years ago, one of my aspirations was to make it a little more green than it was. And one of those aspects was what to do with all the coffee waste. Rather than throwing it into a bin that goes to the landfill, I wanted to find a way to reuse that. And earthworms were one of the best ways. So being able to feed the coffee grounds to the earthworms and then turn that into a usable product, transform it from waste to a product, because worm castings, which is the worm poop essentially, is a great soil amendment. It really adds vitality to soil, allows soil to fix nitrogen and things like that so that it's healthier. And my simple goal was to maybe earn enough out of turning coffee waste into castings that I could cut my coffee wholesale cost in half.
Wheeler raises California red wigglers and European night crawlers. He houses them in insulated boxes on top of concrete foundations located behind the Native Roots Garden Center store. He feeds the worms coffee grounds along with other organic material, and as they munch through the waste, they produce castings. We call it worm poop. And worm poop is a great soil enhancer for gardens. Wheeler said it takes about 3 months to produce a sufficient volume of castings to harvest for sale, and about 4 to 6 months for the worms to create a self-reproducing colony. He sells the castings for $20 for a half-pound bag at the Native Roots Garden Center and the farmer's market. The little wigglers will produce between 1,500 to 2,000 pounds of castings this year. The compost company also produces a thermophilic soil amendment using spent grains from Ska Brewing, wood chips from Phoenix Recycling, leaves, and of course, coffee grounds. According to a lab analysis of the Scampost, as Wheeler calls it, the compost is slightly acidic, low in salts, rich in organic matter and nutrients. The website brags that its compost is free of pesticide-tainted manure. Wheeler produces about 400 tons of Scampost a year. Durango compost goes for about $10 for 2 cubic feet. The company also will custom blend compost and soil mixes to order. And finally, if you have a niggling itch to raise your own wigglers, Durango Compost will sell you a worm kit, worms included. For more information, visit the website at durangocompost.com or their booth at the Durango Farmers Market on Saturdays. How does a family-owned enterprise that started out serving the agricultural industry stay in business for 32 years? You change with the times, and you make sure that you have plenty of tractors on hand for that spur-of-the-moment buyer from Santa Fe. Southwest Ag is a heritage business that sprawls along U.S. Highway 160 in Gem Village. From the highway, you can't help but notice the rows upon rows of orange Kubota tractors, tilling discs, and other equipment that only a farmer could love. But walk around the outdoor display lot, and you get a feeling that this equipment business isn't just for farmers anymore. Lawnmowers and golf carts sit next to tractors and front-end loaders. Who are these guys, and who are their customers? Dennis and Becky Hillier started Southwest Ag in 1982, and their customers were farmers and ranchers who needed equipment to run their operations. But farming and ranching started to decline in the area when small family operations could no longer compete with corporate agriculture. Large farms and ranches started subdividing, and the 10 to 40 acre hobby farm was born. That's when the Hilliers decided to start the rental side of their business. They knew that hobby farmers wanted to test drive a mower or snowblower before buying.
Renting the equipment, letting people use it, helped develop the sales. So from renting equipment, people could try it out, get used to it, get familiar with it, and then the renting of that equipment turned into the sales of that equipment. And they kind of work together, because some people buy a tractor or a couple of attachments, and then they have other attachments available to rent.
8 years ago, the Hilliers handed their business over to their sons, Gary and Rich Hillier. Gary manages the business, and Rich manages sales and operations. The business has grown from 5 employees to 30. Rich Hillier says the rural lifestyle resident has replaced the farmer and rancher as the company's #1 customer. Southwest Ag also caters to the construction industry, municipalities, school districts, and local colleges. They also keep a lot of inventory to appeal to the buyer who doesn't want to wait for his tractor order to come in. At any one time, Southwest Ag will have from 100 to 200 brand new tractors for sale on its lot. That means that rancher from Santa Fe can drive to Southwest Ag in a day and return with his new tractor that afternoon. The strategy has allowed the company to expand its customer base throughout the Four Corners, said Hillier. In addition, the company has expanded its rental business, and that, in turn, has grown sales. Customers come from every walk of life, from the building contractor who wants a front-end loader to the weekend to the bride who wants to rent golf carts for her guests.
But we're seeing this year in particular is a rental yard. You know, our gauge is a rental. We can take, because a rental yard will take off a year to 2 years before sales does. So right now on construction equipment, like mini excavators and skid steers, the rental demand is pretty amazing. So it's a good gauge, but people are renting the equipment, They don't have the confidence to buy something long-term, where you're seeing that, yeah, it'll take me 60 months and have a $1,200 a month payment. I'm not doing that. I'll rent it for a month or 2 months, I'll take it back. And so we were starting to see that build a lot stronger.
If the rental business is booming, then good economic times are ahead, Hillier predicts. But the state of the economy isn't the only reason why Southwest Ag has survived and continues to thrive. With several thousand customers on its accounts, Hillier says it's the way his company does business.
But you know, you're trying to create a culture where you're, where you're easy and convenient to do business with. And you want people to want to do business with you, not have to do business with you. And trying to create that culture is a challenge sometimes, but hopefully you get there.
For more information about Southwest AG, visit their website at swaginc.com. Anyone can be a musician, and one music man wants to give everyone in the world an opportunity to play beautiful tunes after the break.
We're Randy and Micah Jackson in Alamosa, Colorado. Our business is rustic log furniture. We've been doing business since 1996, and we started out building 2x4 porch swings, and it turned into log porch swings, and now we do log furniture for pretty much any room of the home.
Our business has been steadily growing over the years, and it's still continuing to grow. We ship to 40 states. We have approaching 200 retail stores that we furnish with our products, and we ship out a semi-load every other day of furniture. As we outgrew our current facility, we needed to expand dramatically. So I was meeting with the people from First Southwest Bank. They proposed, we go ahead and run the numbers on doing an expansion. They came in good, so we did it, and that's problem solved.
So talking square footage wise, we've gone from a 12 by 12 tough shed to over 60,000 square feet. Given our experience with First Southwest Bank, I would definitely recommend them to other businesses. It's been great to work with someone local. Delzy's been great to work with. She's really been proactive in helping us just facilitate the process of getting the loan.
And so she really helped take a lot of stress away by making recommendations of what they can do to help us ease the stress and focus on what we really need to do.
This is our there.
Experience the heritage of the Old West. It's the new and exciting True West Rodeo in Durango every other Wednesday throughout the summer at La Plata County Fairgrounds. Cheer real cowboys and cowgirls as they test their mettle with bronc busting, bull riding, barrel racing, and more. Authentic Western halftime shows, Native American dancers, Wild West gunfights, and special performances honoring military and emergency response personnel. Visit TrueWestRodeo.com for ticket and schedule information.
You're watching Open for Business. I'm Jim Mackay. You'll find their instruments in parks, school playgrounds, hospitals, river trails, and public spaces throughout the world. And wherever they are, they bring out the inner musician in everyone who sees them. That's the mission of Free Notes Harmony Park, to inspire everyone to play. The Durango-based company designs and builds outdoor percussion instruments that are as durable as they are beautifully sounding. And it's the quality of the musical tones that have helped the company grow from a small hobby to an internationally recognized manufacturing company. In fact, Free Notes was recognized as a 2013 Colorado Company to Watch with a revenue increase of 36% in 2012. Then, stay tuned for our interview about the latest entrepreneurial venture to capitalize on Durango's Wild West spirit.
Our motto is beautiful music made simple. And that involves the simple is really as important as the beautiful. We're really involved in human welfare here, creating a better world. So I set myself the task of creating instruments in Moab's Rotary Park. Free Notes Harmony Park Outdoor Instruments grew out of that park. We had 5 years or so where we would just put instruments out there and see which ones worked and which ones people liked. And I like to create musical instruments that have absolutely no need for rules, and where a 3-year-old can play them just as effectively as a 50-year-old person. All we do is supply sounds that stay beautiful in outdoor spaces. There's a real magic to the proper design for an outdoor musical instrument. And I like to create instruments that are, in technical terms, called bilaterally symmetrical. Much like the human body and most of the living organisms on the planet, they're mirrored along their center lines. And so we have the right and we have the left hand in our own bilateral symmetry. And I like to make instruments where the left side of the instrument and the right side of the instrument have that symmetry as well. Imagine instruments available to all of the people in the West Bank of Jerusalem, shall we say, or Tel Aviv, or just wherever it is. We'd have a lot more joy and probably a lot better understanding cross-culturally. So this is our mission. The materials that we use are all designed to stay in tune and to withstand weather extremes and harsh play. So they have to be really durable, and they have to retain their appearance. And it really doesn't so much matter what the notes and actual tones and scales are. It's more the way in which the rhythms relate to the physical structure of the body and the nervous system itself. And it's really universal. Every culture embraces music in some form or another, and it's a very powerful component of our religious observations. It would be a better world if we didn't have the haves and have-nots of the people who could play music and the people who just listened to music or wanted to play music. And so designing these instruments was an attempt to create a common ground where everyone could play together and ideas could be exchanged between people who had a lot of musical experience and people who had none, and there would be a level playing field for all of them, and it really does work.
Freenote's founders Christy and Richard Cook will be featured on the Discovery Channel's Innovations program airing at 5 a.m. on August the 25th. Today we have in our studio John Harper, who's bringing the rodeo back to Durango. Welcome, John.
Why thank you.
Good to see you. I think you've got a father who most people know, Al Harper, who works with the railroad here and owns the railroad. Mm-hmm. So I think people should get to know John a little bit. Let's give us a little background.
Well, you know, there are 6 kids, and I am the youngest boy. I do have a younger sister right below me. And just a little background on me, I moved here to Durango, Colorado in 2005. Started working for the railroad the day I moved here because, of course, I don't really know that many people. So instead of actually going out, I worked all the time. And really, from the railroad, I started at Fort Lewis College in 2010. And I'll be graduating with my tourism and hospitality degree in December. And really, what I'm looking at doing with that is to go into the tourism business, whether it's with the railroads, hotels, restaurants, or so on, and really get my foot into the door. And with the rodeo, this is my actual very first step doing it. This is a company that I started under myself. And this has really brought me into starting a company from scratch and having like a small business, you can say. Mm-hmm. So I can start out small and work my way up to the big thing.
That sounds great. So how did the idea come around to reinstitute the pro rodeo? Maybe start with a little bit of the background of the old rodeo.
You know, back when I was younger, my dad and I, we used to go to rodeos all the time. It was more just something we did together to spend time together, mm-hmm. and to really just to go out and have fun. When we first moved here, they had a weekly rodeo every Wednesday, mm-hmm. and unfortunately, roughly 3-4 years ago, they stopped doing that. Since then, we of course have Fiesta Days, which is absolutely, so much fun, and we decided to bring the weekly or the bi-weekly rodeos back this year, and to really bring back our Western heritage. You know, Southwest Colorado grew up on farming, ranching, cattle, I mean horses, and we're really losing that right now in the United States. Ranching and farming makes up only 4% of our entire United States. I mean, our entire United States company and businesses, you can say, and I really want to bring like that back.
That sounds great.
I mean, the local community with First National Bank and all of like our other sponsors, they've really put this on and really helped us to bring our Western heritage back to Durango.
Okay, so it sounds like a family can go and have a good time and have dinner right there. And
yeah, no, it's a full family show. There is food and of course beer for mom and dad. There is a halftime show, so they have a solid 15-20 minutes to go get drinks, food while like, the rodeo's not going on, you can say. And actually, the next halftime show, we're having the sheriff's office come in with their SWAT team, with their armored vehicles, and their canine like as well, to where kids can come down, see what they look like, and like understand that they don't need to really be like afraid of them, to where they are there to protect us. And then they can also see like the canine, see how they work, see how the canine, his name is actually Jimmy, and see how Jimmy listens to the different commands, you can say, from the different sheriff officers. So.
Super. And I imagine this whole thing is emceed. There's
of
somebody
course,
on
yeah.
the,
you know, the MC for the rodeos here in Durango and as well as Pagosa, because they have a Thursday night rodeo. He actually comes down from Wyoming, and he's a professional MC who actually does rodeos throughout Las Vegas and throughout the whole United States. And we are lucky enough to have him in our small town of Durango, Colorado.
That's superb. And it's every other week, you say, right now? It's going to be bi-weekly?
So our next one is actually July 2nd, and then after that it's July 30th and August 17th. On August 17th, that actually ties in with the railroad, and that'll actually be part of the True West Rail Fest and one of the special events going on during that time.
And I believe Inside Durango TV is actually going to be televising those last two live, as a matter of fact, right?
They will be, and you know, that is so much fun. And I've talked to multiple bill racers, ropers, and so on, and they can't wait for you guys to actually be there and actually have a live special event going on that will be on air. And I mean, there are so many people that absolutely love that, and they are so excited that you guys will actually be there with us.
Well, I'll tell you, I used to enjoy the old pro rodeo when it was here, and I'd look forward to getting out to these ones as well. So what are the prices and the times?
Well, so for adults, it's $16, and for kids, it's $11. But we will have different package deals if you have a family of 4, 6, or so on, to where it really like enables like the whole family to go for just like a fun night. You know, something that like the kids can go out, have fun, watch the bulls, sheep, and so on, and like the family, like the parents can have like a drink and feel safe there with their kids running around.
Right.
So
sounds good. Well, John, I really want to thank you for coming in and congratulate you on this. Best of luck with it.
And of course, and thank you guys so much, and I hope to see y'all soon.
Yep, and you can learn more at truewestrodeo.com for times and information. That's it for this edition of Open for Business. And remember, keep watching IDTV. You'll like what you see.
Thank you for watching Open for Business. Tune in every week with Jim Mackay for information about commerce and industry in the Four Corners. Open for Business has been brought to you by First Southwest Bank. We can help you get there. First Southwest Bank.
And by the La Plata County Economic Development Alliance. Pioneer Spirit, Business Spark.